Hello everyone, Blakes and Bounds at Studio G, but we're out and about at the famous Kenmore Lanes with our good buddy, the third of the three amigos, Paul Rowe, who is an excellent bowler. At least he says he is. I haven't seen him bowl well, but he says he's a good bowler. So we're going to talk about bowling today.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yep, welcome Paul, and we are going to go back and forth with this one microphone. That's why I'm doing this. Denny, you've got your own because you're the star.
I'm special.
Hey, it's great to be here. How about we do a toast real quick?
Ooh, you bet. Cheers to the three amigos and Studio G.
Adios.
All right, cheers everybody. Hang on.
Ooh, that's good. We are, by the way, not drinking Rainier Vitamin R. It's Manny's out of Georgetown Brewing. Excellent beer, my favorite.
Yeah, I know you like that. We get that at the hockey games sometimes in baseball, right? And all three of us go to the hockey and the baseball, right?
This is true. I think the last homestand the Kraken had, I'm wearing my colors, in 6 home games, I made 5 of them. Now we go into the Olympics. The NHL shut down for 3 weeks, and I am sad. So we came out to the bowling alley to talk to Paul.
We're here because we all sort of like bowling. That's one of the reasons we're here.
But he really likes it.
But he really likes it. So Paul, give us a little brief history about your participation in the sport.
Wow. As a kid, I could go out with $1, bowl 3 games, get a drink, and basically spend my afternoon at the bowling alley. So I started doing that right 8 or 9 years old.
Wow.
But didn't really kind of get into it until probably about 30 years ago. Moved into the area. My wife moved up from California, and we had a group of friends of ours that said, hey, we want to go through and you want to join a league with us. And I'd never bowled league at all before. So I said, sure, sounds good. So they got us into it, which is actually this every other Saturday night league that you just joined. And they quit after the first season.
At what time did you think you were a good bowler?
City of Seattle will have their tournament here every year. And I was out there, I was having a really good tournament. And I knew that I kind of caved into my space when 2 Hall of Famers that are here, both guys that I bowled against before, come up and they say, you're really whacking it. We should do trios together. And I go, me? That one to me, I was still going up the first game and I was shaking. I'm going, I don't want to let these guys down.
Tell us a little bit about some of the other leagues you're in, and all you guys have a lot of equipment now too. It's not just one bowling ball, is it?
Well, my 4-ball bags over there. So, but
You have more than 4 balls.
I do 2 other leagues. It's all my wife will allow me to do during the week.
We're here at Kenmore. Well, I guess to talk about bowling in general too, because there's not really a lot of old bowling alleys left, is there? Not that many.
There really isn't. My oldest boy, who has a developmental disability, loves to bowl. I want to show you a picture. 277, December 7th, 1999. That wasn't me. That was Timmy. And he'd have kicked your ass that day, Paul.
Oh, he probably would have.
Paul, how about maybe you could give us just a quick overview of how bowling has changed, in this Western Washington area in particular?
Well, I mean, you'll take a picture of the map that we've got over here. Bowling, it was very, very popular, and especially back in like the 30s, 40s, 50s type of stuff. In fact, my dad was a professional bowler back in the late 60s, early 70s. From that point in time, though, over the years, houses are closing all over the place. I mean, there's now probably a handful of bowling alleys. There's only, I think, 2 in the Seattle city limits. I think a lot of it has to do with economics. I mean, we're on a piece of property that we know for being in the Kenmore area, that the dirt's probably worth more than the building is by a long shot. But these guys still keep it going, which is great. The owners here, Joanne, who's taken over after her husband passed away, still keep this going, and it's great because not only do you have leagues, but you have family events, birthday parties. We did a Bowling with Bounds event back in the day for charity type of fundraisers. So it's really great stuff.
The same goes for me with roller skating. I've loved roller skating my whole life, and there's not many rinks left anymore, Denny and Paul. But anyway, back to bowling. So Denny, Paul touched on it. The Bowling with Bounds, that was a charity event we used to hold here, right here at this bowling alley. Could you talk a little bit about that? Your name was attached to that.
Well, and Paul, your wife approached me, and she was working for Skills Incorporated at the
Yep.
time, which employed developmentally disabled
Yep.
adults. And she said, "Well, let's do a tournament with your name on it." I said, "Great." And how many years did it go? For about
I think it was like 7 or 8, actually.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah, something like that.
And some of my colleagues as well as you, Mike, but some of my other on-air colleagues would come down here and bowl and raise some money for Skills, which it was a fun thing. Well, I mean, bowling is it's really a part of Americana.
Yes.
Step into a bowling lane and you go back a couple of years, and all I would say is long live Kenmore Lanes.
I think that's why I wanted us to do a couple episodes from here, because I'd hate to see the bowling alleys disappear, because it's fun entertainment, and it's a good family place too. You can bring kids or teens can come down and even be a little independent at a bowling alley. Just have fun on a Friday night, can't
Oh,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got even Saturday after our leagues, we'll be getting towards the tail end and finishing up, and all of a sudden the line from the front desk, and it'll go all the way down, and you got all these teenagers that are coming in, which is the same thing I used to do when I was a kid.
And Special Olympics bowls here as well, which
they've
is a
had-
good thing.
They've had some practice. I think there's still a sign from one of the last Special Olympics out in that very far foyer.
I have an old clip from King 5, so why don't we, just for a moment, we'll revisit the Bowling with Bounds days. We'll show that clip from King 5 News, and then maybe even a few extra photos too. So let's take a look at that.
Our Dennis Bounds was bowling for a cause close to his heart today. About 150 bowlers took part in the annual Bowling with Bounds, which kicked off at noon at Kenmore Lanes. The event raised $15,000 for Skills Inc., customized employment program, which supports the training and employment of people with disabilities.
Well, Denny, good memories. That's why I wanted to show a few photos and that clip from King 5. So yeah, those were really, really good days down here.
That seems like so long ago, too. That's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
My God,
Yeah,
time
I think
flies.
of those things too, because it was you, me, Timmy bowling on the same lanes at the time. I don't think you beat Timmy, did you?
No. Timmy bowls a lot more than I bowl these days.
Maybe just a final few thoughts about Kenmore Lanes. You know about the history of this place.
How it started out, because I think at the time that it started out back in '58, it was only a 36-lane house, and actually, right,
36 lanes is still a big.
right, but behind us, you can look behind us.
50.
But it's 50 lanes now. But right behind us used to be a swimming pool, and it was actually known at that point in time as Pins and Fins. And so that people would come in, they would do their bowling, and they say, "Kids, head on off to the swimming pool," and they go do their stuff, and they do the swimming and everything. But then I think at some point in time they said, "Okay, this is not working. We need to do something," and then they expanded it. I think it was a couple of times before they finally expanded to 50 lanes.
Thanks for being with us. It's Lakes and Bounds out of Studio G at the famous Kenmore Lanes. And just remember, stay out of the gutter.